All right, guys, and here we are, episode 8 of the Pwncast, I believe it is. It's hard to believe that we've came this far so far. 8 episodes in. I don't know, should this one count as 3 since there's 3 of you? I think this is like a new thing. That'd be pretty cool. But I'm here with SugarSkullMomma, Artimaus, and Mini-Theif. These guys right here, they've been hanging out in the streams for quite some time. We've got SugarSkullMomma. She's been streaming lately, and then of course Mini-Theif has been streaming lately as well. Man, it's interesting because I'll go down into these dungeons and I'll steal like an MCD or something, and then I'll be so excited to put it in the final goods giveaway. And then he's like, "Here, I've got other stuff to add to it. I was down there with you," and he'll have like 5 other things that most of it that I saw, but I just missed, like a Paragon chest or something like that. It's always funny. And then, but he's just a very good thief. And I mean, he's got the same shirt as me on, so of course he is, right? But either way, guys, if you can, I mean, where did you get your names from? You know, tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't want to take everybody's time, but you know, kind of who are you? Tell everybody.
So I'm Artimaus. I played retail way back in the day, and I stole Artimaus from Three Musketeers, obviously.
Yeah.
And been using it ever since. Artimaus 2 was my main guy that I played in retail. Had to bring it back once I found Outlands, so.
That's good. Yeah.
I got Mini-Theif from you, but I'm a mini you, and I'm a thief.
That's good.
So my Twitch for streaming, I chose SugarSkullMomma. I love the Sugar Skull, deco, Day of the Dead, decorations, whatnot. Huge collector. And then I wanted to incorporate, my family, together. Me and Artimaus have 5 kiddos of our own, so kids and family is a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
I started with Bow Before Your Queen, based off of Artimaus getting me into Call of Duty 12 years ago. I was addicted to that game too, and I just wanted to be like the real cool gamer girl.
Yeah.
I had that song stuck in my head it's like, bow down before the one you serve. You're going to get what you deserve.
Yeah.
So that's what I got that from. And then my characters in Outlands I want to base them all off of my daughter. Her nickname for short is Bells.
Okay.
So I started out with Princess Bells on my Dexter, and then I made a summoner and went with Enchantress Bells. And I'm going to rename my Poison Dexter to maybe like Toxic Bells or something.
All of them are bells.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so did you play during the Halloween event where they had the little Sugar Skull? No, but you've seen them, I'm sure.
Angry Cactus actually gave me one of the Sugar Skull little
That's so awesome. Yeah, those were like the top 10% too. So they were hard to get for that. And I want to say that was like 2, maybe 3 Halloweens ago. But and it also, they had the little mariachi band people in it. I've got like a violin guy and a drummer, flute. I don't know. But either way, they were all really cool. There was a male and a female one. And so you could have this little band and stuff going. It was pretty neat. Well, that's really cool. So I know, Artimaus, you said that you've been playing since retail. Is anybody else? I mean, I know obviously Cable, you haven't been playing since retail, but
Nope.
Is this your first Ultima experience, Sugar Skull? Yes.
Yeah, I've never played a game like this.
Okay.
No other
Okay.
chart.
And then when do you think that you started in UO, Artimaus? Like what era?
So I started playing like when it first came out. What was it, like 95, 96?
97 September. Yeah.
97, yeah. So it was, my friends actually introduced me to it. I never had a computer. I was still sitting there with a Nintendo, and I seen this and I was like, I gotta have it. And I begged my dad for like a year about getting a computer that could run it.
Yeah.
And then he got it for me for Christmas, and away we went.
Yeah, so Beltane had a, God, I don't know, it was like a 286 or something. It was just garbage of a computer. And we were always trying to find what to upgrade on the computer to where it could play whatever game. And I can remember Ultima was no different. It's hard to think that, computers back then, some of them wouldn't run Ultima. But we had a character named Ninja, but we ran so slow that people would call us Ninja Turtle because we just moved so slow. And they'd like, if I was on a horse, somebody with a normal computer could be off of a horse and running circles as we're trotting along. They'd be running circles around us. And so it was always that. But we started probably, I never can remember. It was either T2A or Renaissance, whichever one came first. So T2A. It was T2A. But so what caught you, Artemis, to play Ultima originally? Like you said, your friends.
Yeah, so my friends were in it, and actually it was their parents that were playing.
Okay.
Right. And I would sit and stand behind his mom playing for hours, just going, I've got to have this game. Like, this is the coolest thing in the world. Being able to interact with other people. This isn't Mario where we're just knocking some blocks off and yeah, I was super excited for it. So a good story off of that is actually when I had first got Ultima Online finally at my house and the internet and everything that I had to beg my parents for.
Yeah.
Talking about connection, dial-up. Everybody remembers the dial-up.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to the song for a minute before you got to play and everything. Well, I got this great idea one day so if I can put it in easier terms, I was living in New Mexico. We were living outside of a larger city. And I thought, well, if I connect to that larger city, it's going to give me a better connection, not understanding that it's an actual phone call. And I built up a $2,700 phone bill that month. And let's say that didn't go over well when my parents got it.
No, the internet was truly the devil then. Goodness, that's good. Yeah, right. The game was very captivating. I same thing. Me and Beltane, we would trade hour for hour, and I could just sit there and watch him play, and it was just the most like fun thing ever. Even after when it was time for me to go home, I would either watch my dad play, or I'd pick up the phone and call Beltane and just stay on the phone with him, and he'd be describing everything he was doing. It was like streaming before streaming for him, I guess. He's like, all right, I found a healer. I'm going to attack it. And like killing wandering healers was the coolest thing ever to us.
Oh, yeah.
Like if we put on that robe and we just felt so cool wearing that brown wandering healer robe. I don't know. It was stupid, but it was great.
The thing that captivated me the most in the game was just the wandering. Like every one of my characters had hiding. I would just wander for hours in the woods hoping to find something great. And then I would just hide and log out in the woods. Loved it.
Yeah, hiding. I had hiding on every character, mainly because I'd see a red and I'd be like, "Oh God, hide!" And just like I had to have hiding. So, and then Sugar Skull and Cable, what got you guys into playing UO? I mean, obviously Artemis knew about it, was playing it, yeah. And then Cable, this one especially for you, man. Like Ultima, instead of games like Fortnite or whatever your buddies at school are playing, which you probably play those too, right? But I mean, what is it about Ultima that made you want to play it? I gotta understand this.
I wanted to play it because when I was young, I used to always play Fortnite. I always loved wandering. I loved doing stuff like in the real world on a video game.
Yeah. Yeah, and so in Ultima, you obviously can just run around and interact with people and do dumb stuff like steal and run from them, right?
Then you've seen Pawn Star, right?
Yes, yeah. Then I've seen you.
That's right. And then we started hanging out and all that good stuff, man. That's cool.
And we ended up here.
And then Sugar Skull, I guess, again, Artemis brought you over to it, and you were like, this game's pretty cool. So from Call of Duty to this, had you played like role playing or MMO games before Ultima? Or
No.
We played League of Legends for a little bit.
okay,
We tried
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Like a day, maybe.
I love games that I can play with my family, so it's nice to have, 5 kids. It's awesome to have all 5 kids. We tried to make a team in League of Legends. Didn't work out very well, but
You still got to play though. Yeah.
still
So
sitting at bronze.
for me, playing games with my father has always just been an amazing thing. And he got me playing Ultima, me and Beltane. And then just throughout the years, we have to watch ourselves because we'll go eat with my grandfather, his father, and the whole time we could just sit there talking about video games the whole time. But we have to like remember, okay, we're with our grandpa. He hates video games, and so let's not talk about them throughout that. But you get us on the phone together, and that's all we're doing is talking about them. But you're 100% right, man. Playing a game with your family is it's invaluable time. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. It's something you can bond over, and you always have a conversation to talk about. So that's really cool. Well, what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'd never forget playing video games with my dad. Mortal Kombat was the huge game that we always played. I remember turning the Nintendo controller upside down and beating him and watching him just get furious, upset, and
See, it was different for me. My dad, we'd play Command and Conquer a lot in Warcraft and games like that, Age of Empires. And I always wanted him to just I wanted to beat him, but he was ruthless. He was ruthless. I mean, I would cry sometimes because he would beat me, and I just get so upset. And then now the next time he just beat me again and beat me again. But now I'm the one beating him in games. The tables have turned. I'm not surprised.
Fortnite. We tried to play Fortnite together. I mean, a lot of the games that came out, we've tried to all play together. So Fortnite was one of them. And we're running around, and I think I'm trying to snipe people from the back so I don't get killed. And he's just going up there and just running up and just murdering everybody. And there's no way that any of us could be better than him. His movements are just so quick, and it's like that in Ultima too.
It was exciting watching him stream yesterday. I see how fast he is with moving everything.
Yeah,
he's quick.
I was very impressed at just how quick you are. So what I struggle with is clicking those tiny little pouches to get into them, like getting my mouse on it. I might click over to the right a little bit or left or wait. No, dude, you just go straight in there like every time. On the move, you go into it real quick, you get it on last target real easy, and then you steal it. Like, it's impressive watching you play, man. It's really cool. Yeah, that's good, man. So what did you how did you learn the hotkeys and stuff, Cable? Were you pretty easy of capturing the game when it comes to making your macros and stuff like that?
No, most of the things I have, I don't have macros. I usually only have macros for my magery spells.
Okay.
I have it for ropes and
Gotcha.
the stuff I need, like skills, I do have. Not like stuff in my bag, trap pouches, smoke bombs, or ropes.
We've helped him, and Artimaus has helped him a lot for, finding different things. He's watched a ton of your videos and different things online, but I mean, he can find his way around pretty darn quick. I mean, even when he was streaming, he was trying to find options because all of his stuff restarted when he got his new computer, and he was just moving it so fast you couldn't even figure out what he was doing because he's just like boom 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 done.
That goes right. That's good.
I do have my mouse on slow though.
Yeah. So Artimaus, when you started playing UO back in retail, and throughout that retail time, what kind of character did you play? Were you like PVM, PvP, crafter? What did you do?
100%. I played a miner all day long for some reason. Yeah. Miner's soothing to me. Mm-hmm. I could mine all day long. And then my PvP guy was 100% a archer axer. And that was when they came out with when lumberjacking could take intelligence away.
Yeah.
And I could destroy pretty much everybody I fought because I would hit them with the axe, drop their intelligence, and then just chase them with the bow until they die. Heavy crossbow, 45 damage. They were dead.
Yeah.
Loved doing duels back in the day.
I miss how, that plus lumberjacking, swords plus lumberjacking, those axes would just whomp them, man. And then, like you said, concussion blow, I think is what it was called. Where it would lower their intelligence.
And also fencing also did something too. So that was pretty cool that they had that.
I'd like to paralyze. I think it paralyzed them for a minute, the fencing.
Yep.
But that was neat. I wonder if Outlands will ever incorporate something in those regards. Maybe not the stun. That's a little much, but something. Each weapon. I know Dexers are always saying how underappreciated they are in terms of PvP, so maybe something like that. Who knows? But,
we'll get it one day, Owen.
Yeah, right, right. And then so from mining to PvPN, I mean, was there any like things in retail that stick out? Like, what server did you play on, and what guild, if you remember? I know that was forever ago.
I played Atlantic, and I really didn't run in a guild. Like I said, like my favorite thing to do was I would just go. I would just be running for hours and hours, and I'd find a random dungeon. I'd go down into it and die.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to get back. Like, it was constantly I was always in the wilderness, always looking for, there's got to be a treasure chest somewhere around here that's going to give me the latest and greatest.
Yes. No, we were the exact same way, man. We would just roam around, and it was always in hopes that we'd find a rare that nobody knew about. And I would go into a dungeon ultimately, or something in the wilderness would kill me, or a PK. And then it was spending hours running around in the wilderness for a wandering healer and, not finding one because I was a ghost and I didn't know the layout of the game at all. And so it was just wandering around and finding a random town.
I actually used to play. You remember when you bought UO originally, it came with the map?
Uh-huh.
I would play with the map next to my side and try to use the map to figure out where I was, to figure out how to get to the next town and stuff like that.
See, that
the little fold-up map.
That stuff's so cool, man. Like, I'm the quality of life things are beautiful and they're very helpful. Don't get me wrong. But it's stuff like that you can't do anymore, right? You ultimately you have 2-3 monitors right in front of you. You're playing on one, and then you've got like a how-to one way or the other over on your other one, and you're just reading through it, or you've got a map with a radar on, and these third-party programs and stuff like that. And we've got in my guild we've got a mapper, and this mapper is exactly where everybody is at any given time if they're connected to it, and they can ping for help, and it's just all kinds of crazy stuff. And there wasn't things like that back then. It's completely different now. So that's really neat. But I played on Atlantic too, and Atlantic, I guess, to my knowledge, is still the most populated retail server out there. But anyway, so what? When did you start on Free Shards? What was like the first one you jumped on? How'd you hear about it?
So here, probably 5 years ago, I got a hankering for some Ultima Online back in my life. And I actually downloaded a game called Legends of Aria.
Okay.
And I played that for a minute, and it just wasn't the same. It was not what I was looking for. So then I spent months trying to get I went back to retail and trying to get my old account back, but I couldn't remember my password and all that stuff. So I finally got it back, thinking I still had my house and all that. And I didn't have nothing. I had absolutely nothing when I finally got it and logged back on. I was so excited. I was always a big weapons collector, so I loved vanquishing weapons. That was the greatest thing in the world, to own a vanquishing weapon.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So I played that for maybe a week, and I was like, man, I don't have nothing. I shut it off, and then about 2 years later, I was like, all right, maybe they've got a new, shard out there or something that I can play. And then I got Forever, and I got into Forever, and literally, like in the 3 days I was playing, I seen like 3 people. And I was like, this is not the game I remember. Because, I mean, you could go to, what was it, Britannia or whatever?
Yeah.
The bank. And there was hundreds of people at that bank. Like, you lagged going to that bank just to try to get to the bank. Yeah. And there was nobody there. And I'm like, this game's never going to be fun without people. And then I stumbled onto Outlands, actually. And then I got into Outlands, noticed that there was multiple people in Shelter, which Shelter was a new thing to me. I'd never even seen a Shelter before, and just continued playing. Then finally, I'm like, "Hey, you guys need to start playing with me. Let's have some fun because I hate playing by myself."
Yeah, and Forever, I played on there for a long time, and they have some really good customizations and stuff like there. To me, when I first got onto Forever, I was like, "Wow, this is the way Ultima should have been," because it has the whole PVM progression systems, and then it still had, the PvP aspect to it. When I played it, it was very popular. It was by far the most popular free shard out there, and we would raid champ spawns, and champ spawns we'd get ours raided, and it was always this like huge battle over the champ spawns. But it was always funny because you'd be killing the boss, and then right when it was about to die is when the raid would happen. Because then you could kill everybody, finish off the boss, and get all the loot, the power scrolls and relics and stuff. And I, of course, played a thief, and it was always fun because there was this terrible script. It was a great script, but it was a terrible one. But basically, I could just hold down a button and walk by people, and it would just start auto-snooping everybody around me's bag, and it would auto-pull anything with the graphic of a power scroll or a relic. And so I'd sit there and I'd just walk into a big group of people, and I'd hold down that button, and next thing you know, I'd get like a relic or a power scroll in my bag, and I'd turn gray and I'd haul ass out of there. And so got very rich on my thief in that game because that was where the money was power scrolls and relics and stuff like that. But I logged in just a few days ago to give away some of my old stuff to a guy that used to play on Outlands. And, Brit had some people, but it wasn't, they're not as popular as they once were, for sure. But there's still some people. I'm glad to say they're still kicking, you know what I mean? But, they're pumping out the content. I like to watch Miss Baby Doll. She streams during the day a little bit, so she's cool. But and so and then you kind of stumbled on Outlands, and what was your first impressions of Outlands for all you guys, really?
Mine 100% was actually seeing people playing the game. That was kind of like the key thing for me. Because, there were so many crazy things that would happen back in the day playing retail because there were so many people playing. You could want to be doing something, going to a dungeon or something like that, and you just run into somebody and have a 20-minute conversation about, with somebody, which, back in the day was super sweet because the internet was just brand new. Yeah. That's halfway across the world about something. It was amazing experience for me when I was growing up.
Yeah. It was the same, man. Just talking to people, those conversations, and knowing that somebody was in Georgia or wherever, another state away. And I was just like, this is my friend from Georgia. I was so happy, it was just a cool thing.
And pals.
Yeah, exactly, man. 100%. Cable, what about you, man? What was your first impression playing Outlands?
I'm like, how do I do this? Is this what I go? Where do I go? What do I do? I come upstairs. I'm like, Dad, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I would help him.
I remember asking Trevek, like, how does he get his clothes? And once he said they're like 1 million gold.
So did you, when you zoned in, did you see Trevek sitting there spamming, and you went ahead and messaged him and said, what's up, and help, and asked for help?
Yeah.
That's awesome. He does that. I don't know how long he's been doing that, but he has been doing it for a long time. And he'll send me a few like stories of whatever, from somebody or whatever. And it's some really interesting stuff that, I mean, he just spams that all day long and answers questions, and it's pretty cool.
Jack was the man. I even messaged Owen one day on like, hey, do you realize what he's doing? Because like he's gave us a couple people to our guild, that we've helped out. We've got a couple great new players that are playing with us and stuff. And Trebek really does a lot for the game.
Yeah. Yeah, he finds them the right guild, gives them suggestions, and he doesn't just he doesn't just, all right, here's an aspect for you, here's 100K gold. I mean, he doesn't even give stuff out, and it's more of just giving that information and stuff, and I think that's super important because just like you said, Cable, I mean, you go into this game, and nowadays you log into a game and it says press W to move forward. All right, press spacebar and jump. Okay, this is a merchant. Buy this skinning knife and go skin a rat. This game, you just zone in and you're just like, all right, do what you do, figure it out. But Sugar Skull, what about you? When you first started, what was I'm curious to understand the conversation. Did Artemis like, hey, I was playing this game 26 years ago and it's great? I mean, tell me about it.
Well, he told me, so he started playing it maybe a week before I got into it. And our other son, he got playing it too, our 12-year-old. And he's like, he really likes the animal aspect of it.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, you've played this before in some other shard, and I don't remember it at all. He said, I didn't like it because when you killed like the cows and stuff, it made horrific noises. And I mean, that does sound like something I would,
It was actually Legends of Aria.
Was it?
You played, yeah. That I brought you into.
Because they were very similar, right? Aria and
it's pretty close. It's just not the right game. It's not Ultima Online.
Yeah. So he, wanted us to all play as a family, with our 12-year-old, Cable, me and him. And it was like a couple days after Christmas, we went out and my 12-year-old needed a new computer. I needed a new computer. So we went out and bought them, set it up, and then couldn't all play together.
Yeah, and unfortunately couldn't all play together.
Yeah, that's the biggest bummer on this server is that whole deal. I understand the keeping people from cheating and stuff. There's been talks of somebody originally having like 50 accounts and placing houses with them and having all of them mine and stuff like that with the old rail scripts and stuff. But I do wish that there was some way to make it. You know what I mean? Like to make for like you guys, you know what I mean? Like and do that because that's one of those instances where I hear it quite a bit of like, oh, I'm super excited to play Ultima again. I'm gonna get my wife to play with me, and then it's like, well, kind of, but a little bit. So, but either way, so you guys are in a guild right now. Tell me about
TC.
that. Yeah. TC.
So they have an initiation ceremony that they hold. So me and Artemis were out in, I think we were like on the outside of Cav, like in the wilderness, walking around. Cav was the first dungeon we had walked upon, and they killed us. A whole group of them, blues and reds. And they initiated us in by, PKing us, gave us our stuff back. They were like, hey, do you want to join this guild? I think we were, 3 or 4 months in. We didn't have Aspect. We didn't have rune books. We didn't have codexes, or we had just started getting codexes. So we were way behind. And we joined this guild. They're, I think, mainly like 30-something or late 30s, early 40-year-old people.
Yeah.
So close to our age and kind of our location, and it's just been awesome. They helped get us started.
Gave us our rune book.
Got
Yeah.
us our
Let me tell you how important that is in the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't forget to bless it either, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had a rune tome. I still have it in my bank.
Uh-huh.
I didn't bless it. My old rune book, I took everything out, put it in. I went on my thief, took my rune book, went to SSC and died, and it's not blessed. Because I bought a rune book, not a rune tome.
Yeah, man. Because on some servers they're just automatically blessed, and so I have heard people like, wait, rune books aren't blessed. And it's like, no, and it's like, dang it. Yeah, I learned that the hard way now. And so, but I will also see in like general Outlands on Discord, like, hey, does anybody know who this character is? I killed them and their rune book wasn't blessed, and they like try to get it back to them. Obviously not everybody is in the Discord or pays attention to the Discord in the general Outlands, but there is that. But so here's a good question. Do family dinners, like when you guys are sitting there eating, do you three just start talking about Ultima nonstop, and then the other kids are just like, really, Ultima again, or whatever?
Well, what's funny is, so we play in the living room. So Artemis is playing on the 75-inch TV. I'm playing on, my computer here, and most of the kids are around. So if we're watching streams, they're watching them with us. We're playing, they're watching us play.
Cool.
So a lot of them are talking about it too. They understand, my 16-year-old who's never played knows who you are, knows who my alter ego is, knows, what's going on in our guild and if we're doing bosses. So, we're all kind of talking about it, and they'll ask questions, and it doesn't even have to be around the dinner table. We're on the way to football to his game this morning, and we're talking about, something that happened at our Alliance Guild house last night, and the craziness that unfolded. And
so yes, it took over our lives, if that's what you're asking.
He's playing at home while he's at work, and I'll text him like, I just got a Paragon, or I just got a Harvest Core. It's not that fun.
That's so fun, though. You know what I mean? Like that's really cool that you guys get to share that as a family. I mean, it's just like what you said, Artemis. Like you like having the whole family playing a game together, and from my experience, just like I was saying, like being able to play a game with my father is it's like the best thing ever. And so I can only imagine you guys, this whole family, talking about a game and playing it and stuff. So that's really cool. Hey, I do have one question, Artemis. So back on, we've all got those wild goose chase retail stories, or just like, something from the Wild West that may or may not happen in today's world or whatever, But do you have anything wild that happened back in the day, the old retail days?
I got one that's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
You ready for this? It may not be so much about the game, but how addictive the game was, and just how important that game was. My same friend that introduced me to the game, when I used to sit back and watch his mom play for hours, 2 stories on her. I would watch her, and she would sit there with a blanket because she would play the game, honestly, 18, 20 hours straight. Like, she would never, ever get off it, right? And he was my best friend. And I'd go over there, we'd spend the night, we'd be doing our thing or whatever, and she'd just never get off the game and all that stuff. And it was crazy because one day, literally, she packed up. Now, she lived there with her son, and his stepfather, who was an amazing person. He was the one that introduced me to Warhammer too, and he had everything. And that was the craziest thing I've ever played. I'd love to do that again, but I can't do all that. That's expensive.
Like the Warhammer pieces, the miniature figures.
He had everything. Like he had everything, like a big, huge board that you could play on, and he'd make us do role playing and stuff like that. Coolest thing I've ever seen. Hands down, the best game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And one day she just literally she disappeared. She moved to like New Zealand because she met somebody on the game that she married on the game.
Yeah.
And she left her son with his stepfather. Just disappeared one day.
Wow. So she left her son with the stepfather, not even the father, the stepfather.
Never told anybody.
Wow.
Failed.
Yeah.
Took a flight, New Zealand, gone. And I actually went back down to New Mexico. I don't live there anymore. I went back there and seen him probably 10 years ago and stuff, and he still has zero contact with his like the game engulfed her and just took her away. Like that was her whole thing. Like she would even call us by our game.
Yeah.
Not even like our real names. Like I was Artimaus, and oh man, it was crazy what that game did to us back in the day.
So in EverQuest actually, I have a half sister. She's my little sister. She's like 19 now, I think 20. But anyways, EverQuest. My father, I'll never forget it. He came to me and he said, "Hey, you know Aaliyah in the guild?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I'm gonna go up to Maine, and I'm gonna pick her up and her children, and they're all gonna move in with us. I'll be gone for 3 weeks." And I was like, "Wow, okay." And so he did. He drove all the way from Oklahoma to Maine, picked her and the kids up, and they all showed up at the house. And I was like, "Hello, family." And then they ended up having a child together who's my little sister now. And but yeah, that's nothing in comparison to disappearing and leaving the country. Like, God. Wild, man.
Dumbfounded at like 13 years old. Like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, she left? Oh yeah, she got married on the game. Like that was a huge role-playing thing.
Yeah.
Like she literally got married on the game, then left and married that dude.
Goodness. Wow, man.
Never even seeing him.
Yeah. And she's probably still sitting in that chair playing Ultima to this day with him.
Yeah. Freezing her. She's probably playing Outlands. She might know.
Yeah, she's gonna hear this and be like, "Hey, I know." Like that was me. That's great. Okay, so let's change it up. Mini-Theif, let's talk to you for a little bit, man. You've been killing it in the stealing game. You're making me look bad. you're just a. I mean, you wear that shirt, and it definitely you've earned the rights to wear that shirt without a doubt, man. So, what would be your like favorite thing that you've stolen? Both like maybe greatest value, and then also just like a good getaway story or something.
I kind of have two.
Cool.
So when I was in SSC, I just went in there to steal. And I found, I forgot his name. He was dead. He walked past his body with no clue. He already had all his stuff. I seen a bag, a trap pouch with something in it. So I took the trap pouch, went to an outpost, and I looked in the bag, and it was an antiquity.
Oh, so he had left a trap pouch with an antiquity on his bag?
Not an antiquity. It was a SSC.
The tapestry.
Tapestry.
Yeah.
Just that on him.
Wow. So
the best.
Go ahead.
Well, I stole the 2 antiquities off a body. I stole a paragon from Moss 4. I went back to the Moongate near the Liches. And Shadow Minions. I found the guy dead right on the portal. Looked at him. He had 2 antiquities. So I just came back, tried to reveal me, and I just ran back into level 4, and he didn't follow.
No. Oh man, I would have been like, I gotta chase until I die. My loadout is nothing in comparison to that. Oh, that's great. So, I mean, that's what 3 antiquities that you've stolen in the past 6 months, probably.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, it's been about 6 months that you've been playing, right? Or has it been longer? How long has it been?
End of
215 days.
End of December.
215 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, wow. So that's 9 months then. Wow, that's great. That's good. And you're still fully enjoying it, aren't you?
Yep.
He's an animal tamer now. Don't let him play you. He's
Yeah.
loving his animal tamer,
Yeah.
as everybody is.
Yeah.
He's went through and deleted character after character and has started over. You've had an animal tamer that was, higher level. You had an aspect of it.
I had 90 taming. Deleted. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I messed up them all up. And now my tamer's at 120.
He wanted to change something on it, and instead of, dropping stuff down and changing the gains, he deleted it. And now he did hit 120 just a couple days ago.
So he cost us a lot of gold. Let's just say that.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. Are you Mage Tamer, Dexter Tamer?
Mage Tamer.
Mage Tamer. Yeah. Yeah, they're more fun. If I wasn't trying to level my codexes up, I'd be playing a Mage Tamer, just because I like magery skill. It's when you think about Ultima, to me, I think about mages. I just do. The dexing in the game isn't for me. I know dexers are diehard dexers. I get it, but for me, just dexing is just tab, double click, stick on them.
That's
granted. I die a lot more. I die a lot more on a Dexter because you're taking the hits instead of.
I don't like when they hinder you. So that's why I don't usually steal from archers.
Yeah.
They kill me.
What? So going back on, about other kids like your age and stuff. Do you talk to some of the kids at your school about Ultima? Do you show it to them? I mean, what are some of the conversations? No.
I just wear my shirt.
Do they ever ask what is that from? No.
Nope.
So I can remember when I first started playing online games, I didn't want people to know that I played them. I was real quiet about it. We play EverQuest or we play Ultima, and I didn't want to talk about it. We play World of Warcraft. But now it's I don't care. I think it's different now. Maybe I'm older. But I can remember just, I don't know. They were such nerdy games. You know what I mean? It's a lot different now. People don't care. But it's.
Did you ever go to school and be in lunch and be playing with your friends and they'd be calling you the name of your character? I had a friend that did that. He'd be like, "Hey, what's up, Artimaus?" I'd be like, "No, dude, my name's Brad."
Yeah. So again, back to EverQuest. It was me, Beltane, and my girlfriend at the time. Her name was Haley, but in game her name was Hey. And I don't know if you ever played EverQuest, but at level 20 you could have a last name, and so we were all Facents, us and our big group of people. We were the Facents, and so we all had the same last name, and it was really cool. But yeah, I mean, we had the same lunch, me, Beltane, and Hey, and we'd just be sitting there and talking about it, and yeah, we'd call each other. It was the worst name ever, but I was Flawlix. I don't know. I would just sit there and I'd be saying random words in my, and I'd be like, Flawlix. That sounds cool, and that was my character's name in EverQuest. So yeah. And then Beltane's was Flaxian, which is, again, I have no idea where Flaxian came from, but what it was. So, but yes, we did call each other by our names sometimes. It was a little weird. They'd be like, "Why are you calling him that?" But let's see here. So, as far as, I mean, what is it for you, Mini-Theif, that makes you enjoy Outlands versus some of these other games? I know we talked a little bit about it earlier, but I mean, what Outlands specifically and things like that?
Because Fortnite and Roblox, the games I loved back in the day, just now they're there's not nice people. There's hackers, all that stuff. They're just like
the toxic people.
Yeah, toxic people. Don't like them.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into my next thing, and you kind of answered it, I guess. But you being such a youngin, how's the community kind of treated you? Have they welcomed you?
Yes.
I mean, yeah,
they have welcomed me a lot.
Give all your friends some shout outs.
Mason.
No.
Your friends online, TG.
Peaches, Pawnstar, Alter, Trevec. Trevec's got to be first.
Yeah.
Trevec is
a tiki.
Amazing. A tiki, that, yeah.
He's in our guild.
When I hit 120 taming, he gave me 3 of pets I've always wanted and I could never tame.
What are you? What pets?
Sun Wyvern and a White Wyvern.
Nice. So
the only what you got?
Amish.
All hammer.
Oh, you're forgetting everybody, ain't you? On the spot.
Yeah.
We think that, he gets into everybody's stream.
He's on everybody's stream. Sweet? You don't love Sweet anymore?
Who's Sweet? You mean Sweatman?
Yes, that was Sweatman.
So he gets in with them. He got in with Sweet, going down and trying to farm with him. He tried to get to go farming with Bifsky, Darken, Fatal. They all are confused by him when he first comes down because he messes with them.
Yeah.
But
I was too. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He may have came down and stolen from a couple of them. I'm just saying, if you guys pay attention.
Yeah. I'm sure he did. I'm sure you stole right out of my bag early on, and I didn't know.
Johnny Clash is a newer streamer to Outlands. He started, a few months ago now, and I think he was on his first stream. I hopped in it, was kind of watching and, maybe answering some questions. And he goes up into a dungeon and is stealing from him. And I'm like, this guy has nothing. He literally just came out of shelter, has no idea what he's doing. So he switched characters, went down on like his tamer or something. I went down on my summoner and, we're sharing XP in a party and he's looting everything. Every single thing. He does not let the other guy loot one thing. And he even says it on stream, like, I guess I'm not getting any loot. I'm like, Cable, stop it.
KB.
He's so fast.
Yeah.
KB, when he first started streaming, Cable went down to try to fight him.
Yeah.
Who won that battle?
Nobody died. Nobody.
Yeah.
I will say though,
KB on his PK.
KB is a hilarious streamer. He apologizes to mobs as he's, attacking them. But Artimaus, really enjoyed watching him, and he's like, go give him, 100K so he can, get set up and whatever. And he needed some like health pots. Yeah. So I went down, gave the money. He was like, what do I need to give you for it? And apologizing, and it was awesome. And he's got a roommate that he wanted to get playing. So he's like, well, I'm going to give that to him to get him started.
Oh.
This roommate of his starts playing, and he plays in the casino. So he's playing poker to start, wins $1.2 million.
Oh.
On like his first game or whatever. So I didn't know this, got into a stream like a few days later, and he's like, oh, you have to hear this story. This is so crazy. I'm like, you lost the check. Like he dropped it around or something crazy. And he's like, no, he won all this money. He gave me 200K.
Nice. That's great.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use that to help the next person.
There you go. Outlands has it's just like that. Just such a good, welcoming community to new players, especially, and just wanting to make sure that everybody plays and everybody understands and things. And I think that all the streamers, especially, are really good about broadcasting that message of like when people are doing something nice and stuff. And then because of that, and it's the same in like the Discords and the General Outlands Discords and stuff like that. But, I think because of that, it's really helped create a culture of positivity and welcome for people, new players and stuff. And that's so important, and I don't want to take anything away from Owen either. He's done a really good job of identifying people that are just assholes. They shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? And are just
Amazing,
really just,
bro.
yeah. And they're just trying to, I used to be guilty of it when I played retail. I wanted to just grief the shit out of people and get them to log off. Like I thought that was funny, but that was, it was a different time back then, I guess. And so now it's a lot different. I'm much older, and I protect this game, Ultima, as a whole, versus want to run people off because I think it's funny, right? But pretty cool. So SugarSkull, what got you into streaming? Was Ultima the first thing you streamed? Did you stream stuff before? I mean, what made you say I want to stream?
Well, Artimaus has always said, for years that he wanted to be, a stay-at-home dad and play video games all day.
Yeah, me too.
And so, I watched a lot of you guys streaming, you and Alter and Mr. Big, and I'm like, I want to do this. I want to be this huge streamer, and I want to quit my job.
Yeah.
I want to have enough money to quit my job, which, unrealistic goals, but this was the first game I wanted to stream it. And I really do think it's the community also, not just of Outlands, it's the community of the other streamers who are streaming the content.
Yep.
You guys are also welcoming, and you guys appreciate every new streamer that comes in, and you guys getting into their streams and chatting, and it was very nerve-wracking to even push that start streaming button and to see all these familiar names in even other, viewers. It almost feels like you're home. Like, These are my friends in my real world that I talk to every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that you're exactly right. All the streamers are very welcome. It's like, oh, hey, this person's streaming. It's like their third day streaming. Let's make sure we try and raid out to them, or we all kind of like to jump in there and, just like you say hi. If nothing else, hit that follow, and then be like, hey, I can't stick around. I got to go to work, but just wanted to say hi and enjoy streaming or whatever. And so it for me, like I want as many people to stream as possible, because that's, I can only stream X amount of hours in a week, right? And you can only stream X amount of hours in a week. But if more people are streaming, then that's just more chance for somebody to discover the game. And hopefully whoever else starts streaming has that same mindset as that they want more people to stream, and they want to welcome more people to stream, because different personalities attract different people, and you'll find the streamer that you want to watch, and it's just more eyes on Ultima as a whole, and ultimately that is what helps the game either not die or grow. I think Outlands now is, roughly 2,700 people online at just about any given time. And, last year about this time, it was like, 2,000 people online. And then before that, the year before, it was like 1,500 people. And so, it's really interesting to see those numbers go up year after year. And also it's interesting to see it's not just people that used to play Ultima that are now finding Outlands. It's also, people that have never played Ultima, like you two, right? Artimaus obviously played and things like that. And you guys found it a little bit different through him, but we do pretty often see like, oh no, I've just played RuneScape my whole life, or I've played World of Warcraft, or whatever, and I just saw a YouTube video or something, and then I decided to try it out, and it's like, wow, that's cool. They're like, but these controls sure do suck. It's like, yeah, they do. But anyways, so I mean, you kind of talked about, I mean, what are some of your goals? I mean, obviously, I wish we could. I wish the Ultima community was big enough to where we could eventually do this and not work. Right? That'd be amazing. But I mean, like, what are some of your goals for like your specific stream, or content creation or what have you?
So I just starting out, I need a lot of add-ins to my stream and just setting it up, making it look nice. Right now I split between, sometimes it's nice to stream in my room, sometimes it's nice to stream out here, just depending on where all the kids are and who's home. But just getting things set up, getting my affiliate set up, getting the alerts, and eventually I'd like to, per season change up the look of the stream and do, different things for like different events, especially like around, Day of the Dead and, my Sugar Skull obsession. Definitely make it out like that. I think it would be cool to have some like SugarSkullMomma merchandise to support, because we love supporting other streamers. I think it'd be cool to have.
Yeah, thank you.
Some of our own. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys all got shirts on. That's great. That Pwn Hollow one turned out really good, didn't it? That's cool.
It did, and I wore this to his football game earlier, and I showed my mom. I'm like, "Hey, you like my shirt?" She's like, "Yeah." She didn't, get it. I'm like, "Well, I kind of helped design it, so
yeah."
Well, how did they do that? Because she's got a machine. She does makes T-shirts and stuff too. So I employ some family help.
Of course, you got to lean on people. So that's cool. What? All right. So this is a fun one. If each of you could make a suggestion to Outlands, and they had to do it, right? Like it. You guys get the steering wheel, you get the checkbook, whatever. What would it be?
Mine would be the opening up to more people in the family.
Yeah.
In the household.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be more tameable pets.
Yeah.
Longer pets. You need more. You need more slots to have pets.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't have 5, but why can't you have like 6 or 7?
Oh, you want more control slots, like being able to have oh man, just feel it. So the best part about that is already, the dungeons there's like 1 person and 5 pets, and so it's just a swarm. And now imagine if it was 10, the dungeons would be. That'd be cool though.
10 snowdrifts. Wow.
10 snowdrifts.
1 hidden monster.
I would do 10 army ants just so I have a swarm of ants, just because it'd be funny.
I probably would do 2 dark skills.
There you go. Are they 5 slots?
No, they're 4.
Okay. Well, 8. Yeah.
Or
okay.
I could have a lemur and 4 phoenixes, because phoenixes are 4 and they're strong.
That's cool.
Mine would be the Nerf Tamers. No.
Mine would be 2 right now.
Honestly, I would love for Dexers to be able to throw a weapon. So if you could, if you're fighting a PK or if you're running up on a mob, you throw your weapon at them, and as long as you go up and pick it up, maybe it does a half a second stun. So if you're sitting there fighting a mob, and a PK runs up, mage, obviously, you throw your weapon, stun for that second, and then force them to teleport or use the getaways early so that you can actually approach them again. You may be able to use a rope to actually get back on them. That's personally my favorite.
Could you throw an item from your bag, maybe?
Well, I think you throw your weapon, but you got to pick it up.
Right. Well, I mean, if
You
I had
know?
like an extra axe in my bag, could I throw that one, or would it only be, that'd be
It's in
cool.
your
Well, I think it should probably be what's in your hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you're willing to throw it,
Yeah.
you have to pick it up. But it doesn't matter if it's an axe, spear, mace, maul. Doesn't matter. You throw it and you get a half-second stun.
Yeah.
Maybe PKs aren't just ready to. So if a stealth PK, which I've had to deal with recently, very annoying, as soon as they pop while they're casting, you can stun for that second.
Mm-hmm.
You chase, pick up your weapon as long as you pick it up, you run across it, and then you're back to fighting.
Yeah.
And I think that would balance it out at least a little bit.
Helps out.
There's a cooldown that nobody can pick it up for 5 seconds.
Sure.
So
Yeah, definitely not throwing your vanquishing sword at somebody, vanquishing katana at somebody, and they can just pick it up.
Yeah.
UO,
That's pretty cool.
Ultima Online Forever. They have a skill that you can. There's a skill that you can throwing. There's a skill of throwing.
Hmm?
There's a skill on UO Forever that you can throw.
Oh, maybe. I don't know how to.
Yeah, I don't think that was incorporated when I was playing yet, but I'm sure it is now. I know throwing is on retail for sure, so yeah, that would make sense. But I don't know if it has that same. It's probably similar to archery or whatever. But yeah, I do know with Wildlands they're adding a whole bunch of new cosmetic items and stuff, and so it does. With the last land expansion, they added chivalry and necromancy. And they never said a word about it. They didn't leak anything about it or anything. They also added the holy aspect, death aspect, and discipline. And again, they didn't say anything about it. So I'm hoping that with Wildlands, there's more skills that come from retail, but they're completely different. Because I remember when they were like, we added chivalry, we added necromancy. I was like, no, man, oh. But then I played it and I realized it was like their own version of it, completely custom and different. And like always, man, it was just like, okay, they did it right, and so hopefully throwing of some form. And I know it may not be like what you're saying, which I think is really cool, actually. But I think anything for a Dexer right now to feel a little bit more viable in PvP, even though a good Dexer 1v1 can take out a mage. But it's just, it's very difficult.
It's rough for us sucky people.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe even like a 30-second cooldown, minute cooldown, throwing it. You can even throw it to mobs too, to pull aggro. You throw it at them. You want to pull 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
2 or 3 mobs. You throw it at one that's away, bring them to you.
That'd be cool. That would be,
but wrestlers don't get it. Let's just clarify that.
No, okay, you can't throw your newspaper, right?
Yeah, you're not throwing newspapers because they don't fly in the wind.
No.
You get how far you can throw it?
Oh, of course. There's a length where you can throw it and stuff.
Yeah, probably the normal 10 tiles that you can,
be perfect.
Rope from. What if I could tie my rope to it, throw it, and then pull it back?
Pull a monster to you.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
See, we should be developers. We should be developers, man. We got this. All right. So obviously you guys are a gamer family. I truly love Outlands to death, but I'd be lying if I said that wasn't the only game that I have my eyes on. What other games are you guys excited about? Whether it's an MMO or just a single player game or what have you?
I didn't realize there were other games.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Hands down for me is Wildlands. I can't wait, man.
Yes,
I'm so excited.
Cool.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
What do you got? What's the next game you want to play?
We were going to look into doing Diablo.
Uh-huh.
We never did Diablo 4. We never really got into it. I seen some decent reviews on it. I watched you play it once or twice.
Yeah.
But, actually, Diablo for me was the first game I ever played like this.
Yeah.
And I went to my friend's house, and him and his dad had 2 computers that you could play, not split screen. What would that be called? Co-op?
Yeah, it'd be like IPX cables or something.
Yeah.
God, that was so amazing to me. I love Diablo 1 to death. I love Diablo 2 to death. Diablo 3 really kind of failed me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been reluctant to play Diablo 4.
Which one did we play?
Diablo 2.
Diablo 2. He got me into playing when we had it on like PS4 and we would play together. But it wasn't really, it was just us.
Yeah. Yeah, Diablo 2 is the one that most people really enjoyed the most. For me, Diablo 4, it got to where I was more so just playing it because I wanted to finish the story. I wasn't the gearing in the game. It's not really for me on Diablo 4. I didn't like taking the legendary powers out and forging them into new pieces, and it was just kind of a pain in the butt, I guess. But I do enjoy Diablo's story, and I've been a fanboy of Diablo since, just like you, Diablo 1. And, me and my father, we had it to where we could do that, and, where we'd play together. And I can remember for hours just duping, because you could
drop the gold and...
Yeah, and I would dupe this potion from the witch. I don't remember her name, but it would increase every stat by 1 or something. And so I'd sit there for hours duping that one potion until I'd have like max stats or whatever, and that was fun, I guess. But old Diablo 1, man.
I'd never forget the butcher. The first time I came across the butcher, I was just like, what is going on?
I still remember.
Yeah, dude, he was so mean.
So you just shut the door, and then you put the firewall in there.
Yeah,
and he just walks back and forth and dies.
Yeah.
I remember.
Figure that out eventually.
I remember Pawn Star, he found the butcher, and I think he died.
Yes. On Diablo 4, when I first saw him, I died. But then I did kill him. I was super happy. I was super happy when I killed him. It was fun. Well, my pets did. I just ran in circles. But
there was another game we all played together.
Overwatch.
We did get, addicted to Overwatch. We ended up having to buy
Smash Bros.
Multiple PlayStations and Xboxes and
Switch.
We got everything, Switches, so we could all play. Tina's Wonderland. What was the...
Borderlands.
Borderlands. Oh, that's such a good game to play co-op.
Borderlands is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And there's like 5 different ones, right? There's 3, and then there's Handsome Jack Edition, and then...
Yep.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the latest one.
Did you ever play Tiny Tina's Wonderlands?
I didn't play Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I saw it. I want to play it.
Out, man.
It's
great.
Like
a whole Dungeons and Dragons board.
Yeah, it's D&D. It's
I didn't realize that.
Borderlands. You should definitely play that. I think you'd enjoy it a lot.
Okay. Yeah. But the next thing on my list is Baldur's Gate 3. I'm behind. I know everybody was playing that like a month or 2 ago, but I'm a big turn-based strategy guy. Big time.
I see a lot of people playing
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I like Final Fantasy a lot. Final Fantasy, I'll be playing that. The Rebirth, which is the second part to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'll be playing that.
Hey, what?
The Final Fantasy VII. You remember that for like PlayStation 1, Final Fantasy VII? They did the
greatest game ever played.
Exactly.
They're doing a...
They did a remake
of that?
Well, they did a remake of it on PlayStation 4 and PC. They did a remake for it, and it's like really cool. Yeah, you gotta check it out. It was a good remake too, very good.
You played it. That's why we bought the PlayStation.
That's why it's the remastered. Or are you saying remake?
No, remake. Like they whole thing. the story is the same, but there is a little bit of differences to it. The game is completely different. Yeah, dude, you got to check it out. Yeah, yeah. And right now, it's what's out right now is up to where they are about to leave Midgard. So you know how like there was 4 discs on the original PlayStation 1? Well, there's going to be 4 different remakes. Man, I put so many hours into that first one. I played it during COVID when we were all stuck at home, and man, I was vegging out on that game.
Really? No, I didn't know that. So, yeah, that was the greatest game that's ever been introduced to me, hands down.
Well, now I just gave you something you're excited about, huh?
100%. I'll be looking that up as soon as we're done.
And just so you know, there's 2 versions of it out right now. So there's the original one or the remake, but then there's also something called Integrate or Integuard or whatever. I don't know. But that one has like Yuffie. Remember Yuffie? It's got Yuffie in it. And so I think it's the same story, but a different perspective, her perspective. I'm not quite sure, but I did buy it. I just haven't spent to play that one yet. So I also need to do that, but I'm going to do that after Baldur's Gate 3. But
okay, I got a question for you then.
Okay.
The first time you played Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
When, what's her name? Ariel?
Uh-huh.
Ariel. When she died.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel?
Oh man, I was so butthurt, man. I think that might have been the first time I got emotional in a video game. Like that game really tugged at me, you know.
I was so pissed. I had everything on her. She was like my main healer, and she had everything. And my friends never told me about it. They were just like, "Hey, play this game. Yeah. It's gonna be super fun." And I played the game. I put everything on her.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she died, and I was.
And then the katana just goes.
I just called my friends up. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Exactly.
What? Yep. Like I lost all my stuff on her and everything.
Yeah, yeah, and so on the remake, they're not to that point yet. But man, yeah, you got to check it out. You'll have to DM me once you get it and let me know, man, because
definitely
you're gonna, man. Because the cinematics in it, the gameplay, yeah, dude, you're in for a treat, man. I'm excited for you. Okay,
I'm super excited.
I like to ask everybody this at the end. This was episode 8. Thank you guys so much for being here. But who do you guys think should be next? Who should be next on the Pwncast?
I think Sweet should be next.
Old Sweatman.
Old Sweatman.
Gotta be Trevek.
Sweatman, Trevek.
Okay. I honestly think that you should do either Owen or Lucius. I'd love to see that side of this game.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool to see. They put so many hours into this game.
They do.
God, I can just not imagine. Like, their work hours has to be 16 hours a day.
Oh, easy.
I mean,
No, they have to stay up all night. Everything
that they're doing to this game, I'd love to see their side of the game.
Yeah, did you see? I know you did, but in the King's Fair, the game that you clicked to the screen, it was like Fruit Ninja. I was like, what is this? This is Ultima. This is awesome.
I cheated in that game, by the way.
A touchscreen, probably.
No, I don't know.
I bet it would have been great with a touchscreen for sure. I would love for them to be on here. I'm not sure if they would because of the camera, but maybe. But then also, I will shout out my friend Mustache Gaming. You hear his voice every time I get a follow on Twitch. I asked him to do that. Thank you for following Pwnstar Gaming. Because he's got a podcast. It's the Boss Relpor podcast. I'll shout him out. His is more Ultima, just in general based. But he's interviewed people like Richard Garriott, Starlong, some other big names throughout the years. Ash Chopper. He plays on Outlands, and he's taking shots with us actually. But If you guys remember the AskChopper.com it was the hack website. So you'd submit a bug and then you'd gain access into the private forums and people would post what exploits and stuff were. But anyways, he had a episode with Luthieus and Owen. So I'll post those in the comment section if you guys end up wanting to listen to those. It was probably 2 years ago or something like that, but they would be great ones too. So hopefully we can get something like that going. Actually, that'd be a pretty good one. Well, let's see here. So guys, if you got any socials, I know Artemis, you're not streaming yet, probably will one day. But if you got any socials, tell everybody where they can find you, what your Twitch handle is, and things like that, and we'll sign her out.
I'm just SugarSkullMomma. Find me at Twitch.
There you go.
I'm King Croba. Find me at Twitch.
Mini-Theif.
My Twitch name is King Croba.
Your Discord.
Your Discord is, yeah. Well, real quick, go back to that. Where did King Corba come from?
I'm a king, and it's a Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. There you go. Cool.
Karate Kid for life.
That's
Eagle
right.
Fang.
Man,
Eagle Fang, definitely.
They did good on that remake, didn't that reboot, didn't they?
That was amazing.
Yes.
Well, the season kind of sucked, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Another season. There's another season out.
a lot of times, they do those reboots like that, and it's just like, what is this? But they kept true to the same tone that Karate Kid was back then, and how cheesy it was. But it was action packed, and man, you really felt that connection to both sides of the whole thing, man. And I thought it was really cool. So,
yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah. Well, guys, once again, I truly appreciate y'all hanging out. This was the first one where we had the three of you guys on, 3 people on here. I personally think it went really well. I appreciate it, and look forward to. I'll see you guys on the next stream, and I'll be in your next stream and all that. Yeah, thanks for the support with the shirts. There we go. I like the Cowbot Slam one a lot. So cool.
My favorite.
This one's the best.
Yeah, that's right.
He can't.
Red hands get the red hand.
That's
He
right.
can't. He has to take the shirt off. I stole his regions.
I saw you wearing this today, so I was like, I got to make sure I wear that one too. Well, happy birthday, by the way, man. I know it's your birthday. Everybody in the comments section, make sure you guys wish him a happy birthday. And I guess we'll see you guys later.
After this, I'm eating my cake.
Toodles.
Okay.
Thanks.
Pwncast Gaming.